Section 7, Happiness is in the Pursuit. Chapter 33, You Have the Power. Over the years, I've talked to thousands of people who say they aspire to have more energy, lose weight, have a better night of sleep, become medication-free, become healthier, and get the juice back in their life. Unfortunately, many feel like they have Mount Everest staring them right in the face, and the task at hand seems too overwhelming. Many also believe they may not have the necessary tools, motivation, or willpower to be successful. I encourage them not to give up hope. Change is possible. I've witnessed many incredible transformations over the 30-plus years that I've been in this business. Success is possible. Lasting change is a process, and in most cases, happens in small increments. How do we stay motivated? How do we build habits that last and keep the momentum going? As we approach the final chapters of this book, it may be clear that this is not the end of the journey. There really is no end to the process of creating a healthy lifestyle. It is a journey with many wonderful stops along the way. It is a lifestyle that is healthy, fun, flavorful, repeatable, and one that gets better over time. 0 to 1. Changing behavior can be extremely challenging, especially when it comes to making lifestyle changes. A powerful philosophy to embrace is going from 0 to 1. The greatest change occurs when going from doing nothing to doing something. This point was hard hit in Section 5 during our discussion on movement. Moving forward, try to embrace the thought of getting started rather than focusing on perfection or doing it all at once. Pick a few things in the list below and focus on a few small steps. Under rest, breathe through your nose and with your diaphragm 1 to 2 minutes each day. Sleep an additional 30 minutes each night. Plan a 2-minute stretch break every afternoon. Use a foam roller for 1 to 2 minutes a day to improve your posture. Get a massage 1 to 2 times each month. Take an Epsom salt bath once or twice a week. Stop using electronics in bed. Block off one morning each month just for you. Take a vacation from work to do whatever you want. Eat. Drink 6 to 8 ounces of water when you first wake up. Take 1 tablespoon of cod liver oil every morning. Eat an apple 3 times per week. Eat a big salad twice a week. And fast for 12 hours to 14 hours overnight. Move. Walk for 5 to 10 minutes 3 times a week. Do 5 push-ups twice a week. Find a new activity you enjoy. And lastly, play once per week. Don't get stuck thinking you have to do it all. There's incredible power when going from 0 to 1. Motivation. Why we do the things we do. What drives our behavior? How many times have we said these things to ourselves? I have so many great ideas, if only I could get motivated. I know that exercise is good for me, but I just cannot seem to find the motivation to get started. I want to lose some weight, but have a hard time staying on plan without supervision. I want to, but I just cannot seem to find the motivation to get started. The statements all have one thing in common: the need to find motivation. One of the skills successful people have is their ability to motivate themselves. What is motivation? A question we receive on a regular basis: how do I get or stay motivated? Let's begin with a greater understanding of what motivation is and how motivation works. There are 2 types of motivation: extrinsic or external motivation, and intrinsic or internal motivation. Extrinsic motivation. Extrinsic motivation occurs when we are motivated to perform a behavior or engage in an activity to earn a reward or avoid punishment. Extrinsic motivation is the carrot and the stick. Extrinsic motivation refers to behavior that may be driven by external rewards such as money, fame, grades, or praise. Extrinsic motivation comes from outside of ourselves. Extrinsic motivation can be extremely powerful, especially in the beginning. Take a job, for example. It may offer good wages and benefits in a pleasant work environment. Over time, Will this be enough to stay motivated? Do we find joy in the work? Do we feel like we are making a difference? It is no different than when trying to make a lifestyle change. We may begin working out or eating healthier because we want to lose some weight, decrease inflammation, improve blood pressure, or get off a medication or two. We may be all fired up in the beginning, but slowly the motivation starts slipping away. As mentioned earlier, the weight loss industry is a $60 billion a year business with over 95% failure rate. Why? Because most people focus on extrinsic side of motivation versus learning how to enjoy the process, which is the intrinsic side of motivation. Extrinsic motivation may be extremely powerful for simple tasks in the right situations, but over time, extrinsic motivation often loses its power. We can all benefit from regular doses of extrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation. Intrinsic motivation involves engaging in a behavior because it's personally rewarding. It's performing an activity for its own sake rather than the desire for some external reward. Intrinsic motivation is doing something because we want to, not because we should or have to. Intrinsic motivation comes from within. Here are a few simple examples of intrinsic motivation. Eating healthy because you enjoy the taste and like how eating healthy makes you feel. Moving your body for the pure joy of it. Listening to music you find enjoyable. Solving a puzzle because you find it extremely gratifying. Taking a hike in the woods because you love to spend time in nature. And lastly, some form of play. How to bring more intrinsic motivation into your world. Learning how to stay motivated can be challenging for almost everyone, but it is a skill that can be learned by all. Here's a few simple tips on how to bring more intrinsic motivation into your world. Connect your values. Match up your aspirations with your values. Find your why. Find your driver, your purpose. Your why is your jet fuel for change. Anytime your why comes from outside of you, this is where the real power lives. Remember the feeling. When you do not feel like moving your body, tell yourself in just a few short minutes you will love the outcome. Take action. Sometimes we need to show up even when we may not want to. Break tasks down into small steps. Habits are formed by taking one tiny step at a time. Floss one day at a time. Or write a book one page at a time. Compete in gymnastics one cartwheel at a time. Or climb a mountain one step at a time. Create a sense of progress. It is important to measure your progress to help you stay motivated. Ask a better question. How can you lose weight and enjoy the process? Make it a choice. Choosing to do something is much more powerful than saying I have to, I must do, or should do. You get to choose. This is one of my favorites. Impress yourself. Small wins can be extremely motivating. There is great power in learning how to amaze and please yourself first. Find a routine. Experiment and develop your routines. Maybe it is a new superfood or oatmeal routine in the morning or a 3-minute stretch break in the afternoon. Develop routines you can learn to enjoy. Embrace getting a little uncomfortable. To truly change, we all have to get a little uncomfortable at times. Play to your strengths. Keep striving to grow. Self-mastery is an extremely powerful motivator. One of my favorite sayings from our seminars and training is this: your why must be always bigger than your butt. Habits. One of the keys to building a healthier lifestyle is learning how to develop new behaviors that lead to new habits. I'm always intrigued by how we develop our own personal habits. Some habits might be healthy and others may not be so much. How we brush our teeth, take a shower, put on our clothes, drive to work, exercise or not, grocery shop, make the bed, eat breakfast or not. We all have daily personal habits that require little thought or planning. A habit is a behavior that starts as a choice, but over time becomes a subconscious pattern or habit. 70 to 90% of our human behaviors fall into the habit bucket. Imagine if we had to consciously think about every little activity or task throughout our day. We would be exhausted by noon. In Charles Duhigg's book, Power of a Habit, he discusses how habits are formed. He coins it the habit loop. The habit loop is a 3-step process that begins with a cue or a trigger that tells the brain to go into automatic mode and which habit or habits to choose. Second step is routine. A routine can be physical, emotional, or mental. Finally, there is the reward or benefit. This helps the brain determine if this specific habit is worth remembering for the future. Here are 2 myths that most people believe about building habits. First, it's hard and painful. This is not true. Habit formation is not that hard if we break down each behavior into small actions. Second, most people believe that it takes a lot of time to build a new habit. In B.J. Fogg's book, Tiny Habits, his research reveals that you can build a habit in as little as 5 days, especially if we reinforce or celebrate our small successes. Coffee is a habit that more than 70% of adults around the world partake in. In the United States alone, we consume over 4 million cups of coffee each day, or 146 billion cups per year. These numbers continue to rise each year. I'm fascinated by how the habit of drinking coffee began for many folks. If you drink coffee, consider how it was first introduced to you. At what age? Were the rewards and benefits of drinking coffee strong right from the beginning? Or did they grow over time? Most would agree that the cues, routine, and rewards all grew over time. Drinking a morning cup of coffee is now ingrained in many people's DNA, and they love it. When doing research for a recent diabetes presentation, I learned that the country of Norway has very little type 2 diabetes among its people. What does Norway do that most countries around the world do not? One not surprising fact is that most Norwegians take a shot of cod liver oil as one of their morning habits. Cod liver oil is served in airports, hotels, and restaurants. It is very similar to the American habit of drinking coffee. As was covered in Section 4, one of the great benefits of taking cod liver oil is that it helps the cell membrane become soft and permeable. As the cell membrane becomes soft and permeable, type 2 diabetes begins to disappear. Is the secret to Norwegian health due to the habit of taking cod liver oil, or is there more to the story? Maybe it's that when they feel better, they have less desire for unhealthy processed foods, or maybe increased energy promotes more active lifestyle. Whatever it is, I believe a large part of the Norwegian secret is their habit of taking cod liver oil on a daily basis. Habit of cod liver oil. One of the major healthcare concerns facing our world today is the skyrocketing growth of type 2 diabetes. The United States currently has the highest level of type 2 diabetes, followed closely by Mexico. In 1960, approximately 1 in 4,000 people in the United States had type 2 diabetes. Today, that number is 1 in 10, trending to 1 in 4, costing billions of dollars each year, and even more importantly, costing millions of lives. Could a new habit of cod liver oil help fight this epidemic? The benefits of cod liver oil are incredible. It is high in DHA, great for the brain and heart, a natural anti-inflammatory, and a powerful raw material for hormonal balance. Cod liver oil is also high in vitamin D3, helping to support the immune system, muscle function, and improve the absorption of calcium. Finally, do not be afraid of the taste. Our On Target Living cod liver oil is flavored with organic lemon for a smooth, fresh taste. Let's dream big. Take a step back and ponder this question. What would happen to the health of the United States, along with the rest of our planet, if 70% of the population started their day by taking 1 tablespoon of cod liver oil prior to drinking their morning cup of coffee or tea? Is it possible that such a small habit could drastically improve the health of the people around the world? I believe so. So how can we develop the habit of taking cod liver oil? Build a habit loop. Step 1, the cue or trigger. Make it as easy as possible. Put the cod liver oil on the inside of the refrigerator door. When you open the door, it is staring you right in the face. Step 2, the routine. Take your cod liver oil first thing in the morning to make it part of your morning ritual. 1 tablespoon is all you need. This is such a tiny habit that can lead to larger habits down the road. And lastly, step 3, rewards and benefits. Make it fun. For our grandkids, I call it cod liver oil muscle juice. We have fun with it, and it's a great experience. We all change best when we're having fun and feeling our best. Support systems. We all need support systems to help us keep the momentum going. There are 3 support systems that play an integral part of our future success: personal support, social support, and environmental support. Personal support systems. What can we do to support our goals and aspirations? We all need to build and develop personal support systems to support our habits and keep the momentum going. One of the keys to staying motivated is to learn how to enjoy the process. Many people may not enjoy exercise. What if we could learn a new movement or exercise that we enjoy and may even learn to love? The same thinking can be also developed around what we eat and drink. I did not start taking cod liver oil or frozen wheatgrass cubes because I liked the taste. My focus was on developing these tiny habits for the benefits and future rewards to my health. In just a short time, I truly looked forward to the habit of taking cod liver oil and wheatgrass. I wanted the results that came with taking them and learn ways to make it work for me. Here's a few questions for you. Do you want to be successful in your aspiration for having a healthier lifestyle? Do you need to change a few of your current beliefs? Is your self-talk positive, or is your self-talk holding you back? Do you have the right knowledge, the strategies, tactics, and practices in place? One of the motivating factors for me writing this book was to help people increase their knowledge and learn strategies and tactics for long-term success. Remember, it's not just knowledge and strategies, it is the practice, the actual doing, that will create the habits and skills. How to develop personal support systems. Find a coach or a friend to meet you in the gym or go for a walk on a regular basis. Listen to motivating music or inspiring podcasts. Use the Target to Table cookbook for recipes and meal planning. Engage with our On Target Living community to help you stay connected with like-minded people to share thoughts, ideas, and practices. Here's a few more questions for you. How can you keep yourself motivated and engaged? What are you currently doing to support your lifestyle? What personal support systems are you going to build in your daily routine? Social support systems. Who makes up your social network? Are you getting support from your family, friends, and coworkers? Are they accepting and supportive, or is it a constant battle? At times, you may feel like you are on an island all by yourself. Sometimes making a shift in your lifestyle may make people around you a little uncomfortable. That's okay. Maybe you will inspire them along the way. I asked a great friend of mine who happens to be a heart surgeon how often smokers who have had heart surgery quit smoking. He quickly responded, hardly ever. I was shocked to hear this. They just had surgery but were not willing to give up their habit of smoking. He went on to say that he always encourages patients after surgery to quit smoking or they may not survive much longer. Even though they may want to quit, everyone in their social and support system are smokers. They do not get the support they need to succeed. How to develop a social support system. Creating a powerful social support system around you is essential for long-term success. Break the chain. Become the leader for change. Graciously invite people in your social circle to get on board with some of your new behaviors and habits. Invite 2 or 3 people in your social circle who support your goals. Surround yourself with more people who can lift you up. Be patient. Building your support system may take time. Here's a couple questions for you. Is your current social network supportive of your goals? How can you improve your social support system? Environmental support systems. Creating a healthy environment around you is also critical for our success. Making our behaviors and habits easy to execute is critical for long-term success. For example, I sometimes struggle with drinking enough water. To help me in my desire to drink more water, I have water everywhere. I have water at my desk, a water bottle in the car, on the golf course, at the gym, and on my nightstand. If water's not in front of me, I sometimes forget to drink enough. Eating healthier starts with a little pre-planning prior to going to the grocery store. If the refrigerator is packed with high-quality foods, beverages, and maybe a few superfoods, it becomes easier to maintain healthy choices going forward. How to develop an environmental support system. It is easy to get off track when our environment does not support our behavior and habits. Here are a few steps to take to set up your environment for success. Clean out unhealthy food choices from your pantry and refrigerator. Place water in clear view to remind yourself to drink more. Cut up lemons and limes or oranges and keep them in the refrigerator for quick access. Keep healthy snack options available like fresh fruit and nuts. Pack workout clothes and shoes near the back door to remind you to work out and head to the gym. Fill a small cooler with health food and beverages for the day. At most of our On Target Living corporate events, we work with the meeting planners to create an environment for greater health and performance by offering healthy snacks, meals, superfoods, and beverages. It is always interesting to me that many conferences and training programs offer cookies, chips, caffeine, soda pop, and even energy drinks to participants. If people do not have the right fuel, how can they feel their best? Imagine feeding a $6 million racehorse a croissant sandwich and coffee for breakfast, or chips, cookies, and a soda pop for a snack. Would the horse perform at its best? Take a look at your day. Does your environment support your new behaviors and habits? If not, what do you need to change? Creating support systems around your new behaviors and habits is essential for your success. So as we wrap up some of this information on support systems, here's a quick summary. Under personal support systems, you hire a coach, a trainer, maybe a partner. Find motivating music. Join the On Target Living community. I'm a big fan of finding a mentor. Positive self-talk. And what are your strategies and tactics to support your personal side? On the social side, talk to your family, friends, coworkers, groups, social media circles. And lastly, under the environmental side, big one is meal prep, travel planning, clean out the refrigerator and cupboards. Again, get ready for the gym, dining out, and most importantly, plan ahead. And again, as you develop these support systems, it makes these new habits easier to execute. Willpower. One of my favorite topics to talk about is willpower. How many times have you heard, if only I had more willpower, I could lose weight, get in better shape, have greater health, save more money, whatever the goal, we could all use a little more willpower. The formal definition of willpower is this: the ability to delay gratification, resisting short-term temptations in order to meet long-term goals. It is the capacity to override an unwanted thought, feeling, or impulse. Willpower is hard to explain. We cannot touch it or see it, but we all know what it feels like. Willpower is a force or energy that is tied directly to our self-control. The stronger our willpower, the more self-control we have in almost any situation. We've all experienced the temptation to eat ice cream, cookies, or chocolate cake. Many times we give in, even though we've told ourselves multiple times that we do not really need it. We set the alarm to get up early to work out, then turn off the alarm, roll over, and go back to sleep. How about this? A major project at work needs to be completed, but Netflix sounds much better. We've all failed now and then when it comes to self-control. Nobody is perfect in the willpower camp. Here's a couple questions for you. On a 1 to 10 scale, how strong is your willpower? What causes you to lose your willpower? Here's the good news. We can improve self-control by understanding that willpower is like a muscle that becomes fatigued from overuse, but can also be strengthened over the long run through training. In Roy Baumeister and John Tierney's book, Willpower, they describe the existence of willpower and the power it holds if we can learn how to build and tap into it. Learning how to build and tap into our own willpower begins with a greater understanding of how willpower works and why it is so fleeting. First, we rely too much on willpower to get us to the promised land. We set our goals to achieve everything at the start. I'm going to eat in the center of the food target for the next 3 months. Exercise 5 to 7 times each week. Get in bed at the right time each night and meditate daily for 15 minutes. The amount of willpower we have in the tank can be used up very quickly if we push and try too hard. Willpower is like the battery of our phone. If we use the phone too much and never take time to recharge the battery, the phone will lose its charge and stop working, just like willpower. With all the temptations facing us all, it is extremely easy to use up our precious willpower. Second, when we put our mind and body in a compromised state, our willpower becomes extremely weak. Stress, broken sleep, unhealthy foods and beverages, and the lack of movement may all contribute to a drop in willpower. The slippery slope of willpower. I remember many years ago on Christmas morning, my wife Paula made her amazing date cookies. As I walked into the kitchen, the date cookies were just coming out of the oven. The smell of warm cookies filled the entire house. So instead of consuming my wheatgrass, cod liver oil, and oatmeal, I said to myself, I'm only going to have one date cookie before I eat breakfast. I think you know where this story is going. By eating that date cookie on an empty stomach, my blood glucose took off like a rocket. Over the course of the day, I consumed 22 date cookies. My entire family wondered what was wrong with Mr. Positive. Where did my positivity go? I was in a food coma most of the day. My mistake was not eating a date cookie. My mistake was eating a date cookie on an empty stomach. Once my blood glucose got out of balance, my willpower left town. When we solely rely on willpower to take action, sooner rather than later, we're going to fail. When we become too stressed, lose space, lack sleep, eat unhealthy foods and beverages, or lack movement, our willpower can easily disappear. How to protect and build willpower. Some of us start off with more willpower and self-control than others, but willpower can be strengthened with regular practice. We all may run out of willpower now and then, but we can also improve our willpower muscle by paying attention to how we rest, how we eat, and how we move. Step 1, build your foundation. We all become more resilient when we breathe slowly, get a good night of sleep, fuel our bodies with healthy foods and beverages, and move our body on a regular basis. When our basic physiological needs are not being met, willpower has little chance of survival. It's just a matter of time before our willpower will run out. Step 2, use willpower to make gradual changes. Don't try to do everything at once. Building habits slowly uses less willpower to execute a plan. Step 3, set realistic goals. Many people use up their willpower by setting unrealistic goals. By setting realistic goals and meeting or exceeding those goals, we build more and more confidence. This leads to strengthened willpower. Step 4, develop strong support systems. Building strong support systems makes the process easy to follow and helps protect willpower. Step 5, develop self-esteem versus self-control. As you follow through on your own promises to yourself, your self-esteem will continue to grow. Your confidence and belief in yourself will lead to stronger willpower and greater self-control. Learn how to pivot. One of the main reasons why most diets fail is due to the prescription approach, being told exactly what to do. A prescriptive approach to almost anything seldom works. You must make mistakes through trial and error and learn how to pivot. If you do not enjoy your current exercise plan or the food you eat, how can you tweak your plan to enjoy the process? This is where pivoting comes in. Pivoting is the ability to make changes depending on our circumstances. When we learn how to pivot, we can make almost any situation better, especially lifestyle changes. If you plan to take a yoga class after work, but your day got away from you, how do you fit in 15 minutes to move your body? Or when dining at your favorite restaurant and they're out of your favorite dish, what would be another option that could work for you? Learning how to pivot opens up endless opportunities to develop a lifestyle that works specifically for you. Keep refining and tweaking the lifestyle you want and deserve. Momentum. How do you keep the rock rolling down the hill? It is all about building and maintaining momentum. Let's begin with a simple definition of momentum. Momentum is defined as the amount of motion occurring in something that is moving, or the force that drives something forward to keep it moving. Law of momentum equals P equals M times V. P equals momentum, M equals mass, V equals velocity. How do we keep the positive mojo and momentum going? It's not about being on a diet or working out 7 days a week. It's about developing a lifestyle that we can sustain and enjoy. In the 80-20 rule, 80% of the time we are dialed in and focused on our lifestyle habits, and the other 20% of the time we're taking a few liberties. Nothing fancy, just enough space to live our life the way we want to enjoy it. The key is to understand that we can get out of the seat on the bus, but not off the bus. Think about habits as seeds to your future. Start planting your seeds today for the future desire tomorrow. If you find yourself struggling to find the needed push, a little nudge, or a spark, come back to this chapter over and over. Remember, you are worth it. All the energy is used at takeoff and landing. My advisor in graduate school, Dr. Kwok Ho, was always coming up with some gold nugget life lessons to share with his students. One night in class, many of us were struggling with the law of momentum. Dr. Ho jumped in to say we were making it too hard and helped make the law of momentum easier to understand with this definition. Life is like flying a 747. All the energy is used at takeoff and landing. Once you get the plane up in the air, it takes less energy to keep the momentum going. How simple is that? Get the plane up in the air and keep it in the air. Dr. Ho is a wise man. You have the power. Essentials. Big picture. The greatest change occurs when we go from 0 to 1. There are two types of motivation we all experience: extrinsic and intrinsic. A habit is a behavior or action that starts as a choice and then over time becomes an unconscious pattern or habit. There are three support systems: personal, social, and environmental. Willpower can be strengthened over time. Momentum. Keep the rock rolling down the hill. Your why has to be bigger than your butt. Ask yourself, how do you stay motivated? What types of extrinsic and intrinsic motivation work best for you? What new habits have you built? What causes you to lose willpower? Have you plugged in a few support systems? Are you trying new things, making a few mistakes, and learning how to pivot? Small steps. Write down what do you want. Be specific. Determine the behavior or behaviors that support your goals. Add support systems connected to a new habit. Write down the last time your willpower was weak and when it was strong. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Learning to pivot is essential for success. Surround yourself with ways to stay intrinsically motivated. And lastly, take a few minutes to dive into your why or your whys.